Hey guys, Sean here. Welcome to the F1 Word and to a news roundup special, basically to cover the two huge bits of news that have come out of Formula One in the last couple of days. One we were all expecting and one that has completely come out of the blue today, and we are going to start with the latter. And that is that Max Verstappen has signed a new 3-year deal with Red Bull Racing, keeping him at the team to the end of 2020. Now, effectively, it is just a 1-year contract extension, as his current deal doesn't run out until the end of 2019. But it is a very big announcement this weekend that is going to fend off Ferrari. It's going to fight back Mercedes and get rid of those rumours that are insisting Max Verstappen will leave at the end of next season. Interesting enough as well, the deal sees him staying at Red Bull until the end of Formula One in its current form. And obviously, the big rule changes will come in 2021. So this gives everybody options at the end of 2020. And it's a very, very good deal and a very, very clever time frame as well. The announcement, as I keep saying, surprised everyone. Max Verstappen said, "Red Bull has always shown their faith and belief in me with actions. They have always backed me and my ambition, and I know we share that ambition. I am very happy to commit further to Red Bull Racing, and I'm looking forward to working together to enjoy more success in the years to come," something he is surely going to have. Helmut Marko, he had his say. He said, "We gave him his first chance in Formula One, and now we want to be, together with Max, the youngest world champion. We saw his potential. He is still developing. He believes in the team, and we extended the contract until 2020. Another Red Bull boss, Christian Horner, he said, "We are delighted that Max has agreed to extend his contract with Red Bull Racing. Max is right to be hungry for success, and we are looking forward to extending that journey with him in our hunt for Formula One World Championships. As we now look to the long term with Max, he is in the best place in the sport to build a team around him to deliver our shared ambition." Now, I had two reactions to this announcement initially. One was one of joy, I guess. I was absolutely over the moon that Max Verstappen has decided to stay at Red Bull because, as I said earlier in the week in my other news roundup, I felt like it was the best option for him going forward. Certainly short to mid-term, it's the best option for him. The only real seats available to him were Kimi Raikkonen's seat at Ferrari or Valtteri Bottas' seat at Mercedes. And although Ferrari and Mercedes differ in their approach, as we know, to number one and number two drivers, Max Verstappen's seat would have been a number 2 seat at either Mercedes or Ferrari, and that is not him. That's not what he wants. Staying at Red Bull, he gets a great shot to be number 1 driver, because I genuinely believe, and I know Martin Brundle said it, but I felt this at the time as well, I genuinely feel that Daniel Ricciardo will leave Red Bull now at the end of next season, and that is what has happened here. And Red Bull have acted and said, we're going to bring Max in, get him a contract signed up, get rid of those Ferrari rumours, get rid of those Mercedes rumours, and focus on our future together. And it makes perfect sense, and they're already talking about building the team around him. So for me, Daniel Ricciardo, will probably see him wearing red in 2019 or possibly silver, but I think really Ferrari would love to get Sebastian Vettel. They'd love Max Verstappen, I'm sure, but to get Sebastian Vettel and Daniel Ricciardo back together as teammates, because as interestingly enough, when you put it all together, Sebastian Vettel has already said this week he had a great relationship with Daniel Ricciardo. Are the two linked, or am I just looking for something there that isn't really there? Probably, but we'll see. But I'd imagine Daniel Ricciardo will be on his way, and that's why Red Bull have signed Max Verstappen up and are confident now in being able to say we're going to build a team around him. But for both parties involved, both Max Verstappen and Red Bull, this is the perfect deal and has the potential in the future, if Red Bull get it right next year, to effectively give us, and into 2019 as well, and 2020 before the rule changes, 3 teams with 3 number 1 drivers fighting for titles. That's what we want. Come on, that's a brilliant move. Fantastic from Red Bull. Great for Max Verstappen, but that was not the only deal announced over the US Grand Prix weekend so far. Could there be more? But the next one is another big one. It was announced on Thursday that Fernando Alonso has signed a 1-year contract extension, keeping him at McLaren till the end of 2018. But the Spaniard is already talking about the long term and has even hinted at ending his career with the Woking outfit. And I had to mention this quote because it is so Fernando Alonso. He just said, I don't think it's going to be 1 year. He's also hinted about finishing his career with the Woking outfit as well. Whether that'll be in a similar role to how Jenson Button has ended, I guess we'll find out in the long term. It has long been rumoured, of course, that Fernando Alonso would sign for McLaren once the Renault engines were confirmed for 2018, and that has happened. The 1-year deal also gives Alonso options for the end of 2019 should Hamilton decide to disappear from F1 or his seat become available, or if Kimi Raikkonen does retire, as many expect, at the end of 2018. Fernando Alonso said, "It's fantastic to be able to continue my relationship with everybody at McLaren. It was always where my heart was telling me to stay, and I really feel at home here. Just as important, McLaren has the technical resource and financial strength to be able to very quickly win races and world championships. Although the last few years have not been easy, we have never forgotten how to to win, and I believe we can achieve that goal again very soon. The last 3 years have given us the momentum to plan and build for the future, and I'm looking forward to that journey. Eric Boulier added, with Fernando, you really can't ask for a better driver to deliver a result for you on a Sunday afternoon, and I think everybody in Formula One would acknowledge that sentiment. And I think we can all agree with that, definitely, Eric. He's a fantastic driver, one of the best on the grid. He's a double world champion for crying out loud, but with a Renault engine in the back of that McLaren, they can compete with Red Bull. I don't think they're going to get as far as they're expecting next year. I don't think they're going to be winning races, but it is a great opportunity for Fernando Alonso to at least start to contest regular top-end points again, because he is desperate for that. What it means for him going forward long-term, it may well be a long-term deal in his eyes, but like I said earlier, possibly just in a similar way to that Jenson Button had. He's obviously leaving McLaren at the end of this season, or it looks like he's going to. He wants to pursue full-time racing next year. So I think certainly with McLaren, long-term definitely means something different than it does to say Red Bull. Red Bull might say a long-term deal for a driver is 5 or 6 years racing on the track, whereas McLaren would say it's a year or two racing and then maybe in some kind of ambassadorial role for a couple of years or something like that. But obviously with Red Bull, their drivers are a lot younger than the ones that McLaren recently had with Fernando Alonso and Jenson Button. So I can see him staying, certainly, obviously next year he'll be racing. I can definitely see him staying on in 2019 racing. But beyond that, I think the maximum he would go to is 2020. I don't think he'd stick around for another rule change, but I would be very, very surprised to see Fernando Alonso still racing post 2019. I really would. I'd love to see him racing for a very, very long time. He's a very good driver, and I kind of feel like we've been robbed a little bit over the last 3 years with Fernando. He's a brilliant driver, and whatever car he's had in the past, even the Minardi, he managed to drag around to great results and put in some fantastic performances. And although he's done it at times with McLaren and Honda, I just feel like we've lost those years of him. We've lost 3 years where he should have been competing towards the front end of the grid. So he might feel that himself and might give back 3 years, but I certainly genuinely think 1 year definitely, 2 years probably, 3 years might be a bit much, but we'll see. We'll see what he decides to do. At the end of the day, Fernando Alonso is his own man. He will do absolutely what he wants to do, but long term, we'll see. We will see. But he definitely needs to be competing for top end points as soon as possible, and next year he's going to get that shot, and that will probably reignite that flame. It was just the 2 news stories I wanted to talk about today then, guys, but to be fair, they are pretty big news stories, and like I say, one we're expecting and one that just came completely out of the blue today. It really, really did, but fantastic deals for both drivers, great for both teams, and looking already as though 2018 is pretty much done in terms of the grid. We're just waiting to see what Williams do and whether Sauber take on Leclerc, and then we'll all know what's happening in 2018. Then we can all start talking and speculating about 2019, as I'm sure we will pretty quickly. Before I go though, guys, I just want to say a massive thank you for your response to my channel update video. Some great comments. I've responded to all of them in the comment section. Brilliant suggestions, fantastic support. Again, thank you so much for everything. Your ongoing support, your past support, and your support into the future. You're absolutely brilliant. The best subs in the world, for sure. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, genuinely. But I will be back on Sunday, guys, of course, with the US Grand Prix review. Hopefully going to get that uploaded before midnight, because of course it is going to be a late night review because the lights don't even go out until 8 PM UK time. So I will try my best to get that up as quickly as possible, hopefully before midnight. But obviously I don't want to end up knocking the quality of the video as well. So I'll try my best to get it out as quickly as possible after the race for you guys. But as ever, thank you so much for watching. I've been Sean. This has been the F1 Word. And until next time, goodbye.